Okay, we're back here with our curve network. We're going to start using the curve network tool to create our surface here. To do that, we're going to go to the surface menu. That's where we create all our surfaces. Curve network. Okay, so it says curves in network. The first thing we'll select is this circle, making sure that that is in fact touching at every point. And then we're going to select the rest of our curves. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we hit enter. Okay, and if you've done everything correctly, if everything is touching here, I think it can be off a little bit. I think the main point is that it's touching down here, these 4 points. The curve network can do some estimation. We need to set up our surface now. So first thing we'll do is hit preview. You'll notice that that is made up of a lot of little squares. We don't need a surface that is that dense because we're not particularly working to any tight tolerances. So what we're going to do is I'm going to change the tolerance to 0.1 and the interior curves to 0.1. You can see now that it's really come down in resolution. I'm going to change that to loose. Okay, give it a bit more freedom. Hit OK. See what we've created. We've got a surface here that, as you can see, is bound by all our curves. Now if there's anything you don't like about this surface and you want to refine it, which it does look like it needs some refinement, we can do that. To do that, what we need to do, if we're happy with the profile, because that does match our stick blender pretty well, but the shape of it's a bit funny, like it pinches a bit towards the front. Doesn't look quite right. If we want to add some more control to that, what we need to do is add more sections. So they've got one circle down here, but we can add more of those throughout to control it a bit more. To do that, the easiest way, all we need to do is go into a tool called section. So with this surface turned on, we need to go to section, and we'll ask for select object for sections. So we'll just click that new surface we've made, and then you say start section. So this is just where we put a straight line through our model to indicate what kind of shape we want it to become. So I'm going to start it around this handle area, this kind of flatter area. So I'm just going to draw a straight line by holding shift. Okay, I'll draw one there, and I'll draw one through there. Okay. And we can have a look now what we've created. So I'm going to go ahead now and delete this surface. So what Rhino's done for us is create a curve exactly where that section is, and now we can kind of see our profile. We can see through here it's quite round, but we can see as we get towards the top it really becomes more triangular. So we can edit that nice and easily and change that profile and then use it to create another curve network. So what we're going to do is I'm going to grab a straight line to begin with, put it on the quad. Okay. I'm going to trim half of this away, so we're only working on half. See that? I'm going to symmetry this in the same way, start here, end here, with my history turned on. You can tell it's turned on because it's in blue. Okay, now I'm going to go into F10, and you can see, undo that symmetry, because you can see that this curve has a lot of points. It's going to be too hard for us to move CVs, so I'm going to go ahead and hit rebuild. Now what rebuild does is it will simplify a curve for us by removing points. It tells us how far off we are, the original curve, and you can see where the red line is, it's where we're the worst, so that's not really bad at all. I want to decrease this to like maybe 7 points or 8 or something, so I'm going to keep going down until I decrease it. You see here we're a bit off, but that's okay. Again, these curves, these interior curves don't need to be perfect. These ones do at the bottom, but these don't, so that's okay. So I'm going to hit OK with 8. Let's see what that looks like. You know, I might do less. I might rebuild that to have 6. 5. 5's good. Okay. Yeah, maybe 5's a bit much. Let's try it. 27 was the good number. Okay. It's not too far away from this curve. It's not quite touching anymore, but that's okay. Alright. Now all I want to do here is I'll put symmetry on so we can see what we're doing. Okay. I'm going to hit F10 and I start playing with these CVs. I'm going to pull this out. It should affect the other side. Pull this out. Okay. Start trying to give myself a slightly more square profile. Oops, wrong curve. Through this center section. That's looking a bit better. Okay, hit escape. I'll go ahead and just delete that and join these back up. It's not going to do anything. Okay, I might square this section up a little bit as well. So I'll do the same thing by hitting F10. First thing we can do here is trim it. Okay, we'll hit trim. Okay, again it looks like we're going to have to rebuild this curve. So rebuild, enter. Okay, so it's got 27 points. We want to make it 7 again. That looks pretty good. Hit OK. Alright, now we've got a curve that we can work with. Let's use the symmetry tool once more. As again, making sure we have record history on. Okay, hit F10 and just start pulling these CVs out a little to kind of square off this profile a bit. I'll move this one forward. You can see that that's becoming more square. I'll do the same towards the back here. Okay. And pull this one out a little bit. Now you don't want to play with these too much. They can start to deform, but that looks okay. Delete that. Let's go ahead and join these back up. Okay. Now you can see we have a series of curves controlling this object. You can add as many as you like in. I'm going to try the tool once more, just check what I've done. So surface, curve network. This time I'll select this closed loop, then that closed loop, and then I'll click the open loops running around the edge. And enter. If it all works, we should be able to preview it. You can see now we're getting much more of a controlled surface through that center hand section. It's much more squared and uniform. It's flowing a lot better. And we'll hit loose, see how that looks like versus position. And maybe position looks a bit better in this case. Again, just muck around so it looks better. Okay, and you can see there we've got a much squarer handle section coming up to those round areas. Okay, our top section's nice and flat. We can have a look in the rendered view what we're looking at. You may want to add some more control curves around this top bit of the stick blender. Looks a little bit funny. We can have a go at that now, see if we can see what kind of profile we've got. So I'm going to hit section again, just straight through. Okay, we can just hide this surface to have a look at what kind of section we're dealing with. Yeah, so it's quite a weird shape. We need to make that rounder. So we're going to go ahead and delete our curve network. I'm just going to go through the same process here again of trimming this line. Again, just working in perspective here because it's easiest. I'll hit F10, see what it looks like. It's a lot of points, so we're going to rebuild that too. 7 might not be enough in this case. Let's try 8. 8 looks good. Okay. Alright. Now let's go ahead. The front of it looks okay. It's the back area that's looking weird. So let's just pull these points out. Okay. Make sure we put symmetry on as well so we can see the whole thing. Okay, that looks pretty good. You could finesse that more, but it looks alright to me. You could always put on your curvature graph to have a look at what's going on. It's a bit funny. You can do this for all your section curves. Once you've got a shape close to what you want, just move this in or out until it's kind of looking smoother. See, that curvature is looking a bit better through there. Same through here. It's not looking quite right. So now we have a smoother curvature graph for our section. So you could go ahead and check all of these sections because I haven't checked them yet. In this case, I'm going to leave it. So I'll join that up. And again, we'll just try another curve network. Now I've got to delete my, I hid mine. Oh no, objects are hidden. Okay. Alright, let's try curve network once more. Surface, curve network. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, we'll hit preview. That's looking a bit better. We've got a much squarer, more uniform top section coming up. I'm going to position that loose. I'm going to cancel for a sec. Actually, no, I'll go back to a curve. Surface, curve network. Oops. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let's preview. Looks pretty good. There you go, okay. It's looking more uniform. If I put EMAP on, which just makes it chrome, you can see that looks pretty good. No real weirdness going on anymore. Those curves are kind of flowing nicely around the handle, and I'm happy with that. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and end this video here. In the next video we'll blend this in with the body, the revolve that we've already done for the stick blender. Alright, thanks guys.